I keep thinking about what is it that makes me feel like Thistle Farms and ABA are such a great team. And I think it's because simply you and I share a belief that if we offer people new experience traveled together, it can change their lives and their perspective on the world. I know for me, for the last 2 decades of thinking about this work and of wanting a community to travel well together and to believe that love is the strongest force for change that we have in the world, it's taken a few things. It's taken a real idealism. Not idealism like some kind of Pollyannic view, like everything's great. I know how hard it is and how harsh it can be. But I'm talking about an idealism that is grounded in hope and in the truth that we can travel well together and see that every part of creation is a gift and we don't have to give up on anyone. And such an idealism serves us well. We have welcomed over 31 states to our facility over on Charlotte to teach people about this model of hope and recovery and restoration in people's lives. We have 4 partnerships with women's groups across the globe, and we're starting a new one in Uganda and in India this year. This idealism can be good business. It can be hopeful, and it can help change a whole community. It's not just about changing a small subculture of people who have known such harshness in their lives, but about all of us being imbued with this power and this vision that is idealistic, that we can love each other with sincerity and truth. And it also takes humility to do this work. To travel well together, it is a humbling thing. For us, it is continually humbling to think about the small work we do facing these big and universal problems that women bear on their individual backs. I know for me that even though 72% of the women who come through the program are clean and sober 2.5 years later, the 25% who don't make it have been the parts that have humbled me the most. But love teaches us so much, even in our humility and in the hard parts of our work. So the first time that I experienced someone dying from the addiction and violence that is truly the life for women who have been bought and sold over and over in our culture, I was too scared almost to even do her funeral. I thought, this is what the worst is. But before we even said the first word, when we just held hands and bowed our heads to say a prayer, we all began to cry as love was so thick in the room you couldn't cut through it. And I thought, as humbling and as hard as this work is, I will do it for my whole life. If this is the worst the world has to offer, child rape, poverty, abuse, and addiction, and love can still speak so clearly through that, I will take it and I will run with it. And finally, I believe that for us to travel well beyond idealism and humility, we need community, we need each other. The woman who packed all the products today for this event is a woman named Doris. She runs our packing department at Thistle Farms. She grew up right here in Nashville, Tennessee, and she witnessed the murder of her father at a very young age. And as life took its toll and she hit the streets, she describes it as she walked a 10-block radius for 20 years. She didn't know how to travel anywhere else until a community came to find her. And as part of our work for Thistle Farms and Magdalene, we go across everywhere we can in the country, speaking to any group that will listen to us about how it is that women recover and how it is we can build this network of hope and this movement of women's freedom. And so I traveled with Doris the first time that she flew, and the very first time she ever saw the ocean. While this world had showed her the inside of prison walls and the underside of bridges and the short side of anger, no one had ever taken her and traveled with her to see what a sunrise looks like from the shore or what a cloud looks like from the top side. And I got to be with her the very first time her feet hit those sugar sands, and when she finally hit the water, she held her arms out and leaned back and she said, "Has this been doing this my whole life?" My Lord, for as long as the moon has been spinning around the earth, this force has been there. This beautiful force like love pulling on our hearts and our minds, but it takes a community to help us get to the shoreline to feel it. We want to live into that beautiful old adage that if you want to travel fast, travel alone, but if you want to travel far, and if you want to travel well, and if you want to travel with meaning, and if you want to travel with love, let us travel together. Come visit us at Thistle Farms. We want to be a part of this whole beautiful experience of Nashville. Thank you, thank you, thank you.